let's talk about the good stuff. Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maddie and this is my quarterly smut update. Smut date? I don't know. I've done a ton of these videos where I update you guys on the best smut that I've read. I've got 4 recommendations and then 3 kind of honorable mentions that I just want to talk about. Now, before we get into the video, I want to remind everyone that we all have our own opinion, taste, and preference in books. If spicy, smutty books aren't your favorite, that's okay. We're all allowed to like what we like. Let's start back in April when I read probably top 3 books of the year. And I say that about so many, but I'm being serious. Like by the end of the year, I'm gonna have a really hard time narrowing down my favorites of the year. Like this one, and I've talked about it a lot. I've also done a book review on it already on my channel. The Dixon Roll by Elle Kennedy. If you want to talk about smut, this is it. Like if you want good plot, good little like plot twists here and there and smut, like quality smut, then read this book. This is a next generation series based off the children from the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. I loved the Off-Campus series, but this series right here is taking it by storm. Is that? I'm not very good at like sayings and stuff and I always want to be, but this one tops Off-Campus in my opinion. Diana, our main character, is Gigi from The Graham Effect, which I talked about in my last smut video. Diana is Gigi's best friend. And Shane, our main love interest, is on the hockey team at the school while Diana is a cheerleader. Just so you guys know, in this series, they can be read as standalones, but they're better read together. Diana and Shane become neighbors, and Diana kind of isn't willing to put up with Shane's antics because he has a really bad reputation with the cheerleading squad. He's kind of slept around with a few of the girls. Diana, being the cheerleading squad leader, is kind of like, no, you've broken too many hearts on my team. I can't be friends with you. So definitely forced proximity, but also like a reluctant friends to lovers, but we'll get there. The smut in this book is probably the best I've ever read. There's a little bit of like, without spoilers, little kinks thrown in here and there. Again, I don't want to say anything specific. There's also a friends with benefits application that Shane writes and gives to Diana to be like, hey, we should be friends with benefits. Shane is it. Like when a man is willing to step up and support, help, protect his girl, not even his girl, like they're just friends. Well, they start out hating each other. So it's reluctant friends and then it's reluctant friends with benefits and then it's lovers. Like there's so many different elements to this book, and again the plot gets crazy. There's some crazy exes involved and the spice is top tier. I rated this book 5 out of 5 stars. Again, one of my favorite books this year, but I think I would rate the spice 4 out of 5 little chili peppers. But I did see on Goodreads someone rated this a 2 spice out of the 5 and I was like, a 2? Did we read the same book? Like this book is smutty. Probably her smuttiest book that she's written. Like some tropes, hockey, cheerleader, romance, and she's a competitive ballroom dancer, which I thought was unique. Summer romance, fake dating, forced proximity, friends with benefits, frenemies to lovers, kinky stuff going on. It's a lot of fun. Like this book, if you haven't read Elle Kennedy yet and you're wanting to, this is your sign to read it now. If you guys haven't watched my husband's reaction to reading a scene out of this book, it's in the I made my husband read romance books, that video, and Brock's reaction cracks me up. The next book I want to talk about, I have talked about so much in the past month, so I'm sorry that I keep bringing it back up, but it's hard not to talk about. I'm gonna be really brief because again, I have talked about this book before. Play Along by Liz Tomford. This is a new release. It came out last month. I have not stopped thinking about it, and it's definitely one of my favorite Liz Tomford books that she's written. This is book 4 in the Windy City series. This one specifically is baseball, and this one is not her smuttiest book. That's for sure. Like there was smut in it, it was great, but mostly there's a lot of pining and tension involved, and we all know I love the tension. The build-up is the best part. The books in this series can be read as standalones, but again, let's say it together, they're better read together. Kennedy and Isaiah work together, but Isaiah has had a long time crush for many, many years on Kennedy. And one drunken night in Las Vegas, they get married. There's a lot of other details on why they drunkenly get married, but again, I've talked about it like 5 times this month, so I can't talk about it anymore. Isaiah really is the greenest flag ever. Like, we loved Ryan Shea from The Right Move, but Isaiah's right up there. Right up there. His pining I love it when a man is so obsessed with a woman. Yes, like bow down to her because she's amazing, you know? That's what Isaiah does. And even though that their marriage was fake, Isaiah took it so seriously. The whole book he's kind of holding out, hoping that she also falls in love with him, and it's the cutest thing to see him kind of literally want to do anything for her. Simp, like King Simp Isaiah. King Simp Isaiah. Acts of service, and the way that he touches her and learns what she likes because of her past and things that she's been through. He's just so caring. And again, this has nothing to do with smut. I literally haven't talked about the smut at all, but because of all this loveliness and all of the pining and again the tension, you're getting Isaiah's POV. You really are seeing why he's in love with Kennedy, which makes you fall in love with Kennedy. And then when the smut comes, it's perfect. And there were so many other tropes in there. There's the one red trope that she does so well. Sports romance, workplace romance, pining. He falls first and hard. There's so many things that go on in this book. And there was one, oh my God, that's what I need to talk about. I forgot what chapter it is. Yes, chapter 18, you guys. The longest, one of the longest foreplays ever. Like so much. They don't even do anything. They don't even really do anything. They kind of do some stuff because I mean like foreplay is doing stuff, but it's a long chapter and it's a good one. I rated this book 5 out of 5 stars. Another favorite of the year, and I'm gonna give it 2 chili peppers out of 5 because it's not as smutty as some of the other books that I've read. There is smut in it, but it's classically done. It's classy smut. It's spread out. There's not a lot of it. You know, you get your first like smutty scene halfway through and then maybe 1 or 2 more towards the end, and it's perfect. That's my favorite romance book. Like just a little bit, not a lot, you know? That's good. So I don't know why. Actually, I do. I'm on my period and I'm sweating so much. And the next one, A Not So Me Cute by Megan Quinn. A subscriber actually sent this to me, so thank you. You know who you are. This is a contemporary romantic comedy, and it was a lot of fun. It's the first book in a series, and it surrounds 3 brothers. So the first brother, his name is Huxley Kane, and they can be read as standalones, but they're better read together. Okay? This was a really dang lighthearted and fun read. So cute. Huxley and Lottie both are in sticky situations. Lottie was fired from her job and is scrambling to get out of her parents' place since she still lives with them, but she needs money. And Huxley, being a billionaire and looking for a fake fiance since he lied to a potential client that he was engaged, boom. If this was a movie, it would be really cheesy. There were multiple scenes that made me blush in this book. The way Huxley talks, ooh, he's a spicy talker. He was flirting with me through the book. I was actually blushing and sweating. They were attracted to each other from the jump. Like from the first time they saw each other, they were physically attracted to each other. So lots of lust and tension and build up in this one. But the spice does happen pretty quick because there was a hallway incident where she was in a robe, a silky robe, and he wanted to teach her a lesson. It was great. I learned a lot from that lesson. There were definitely scenes in this that were kind of unrealistically erotic, if that makes sense. Like again, it's rom-com-y, but it's supposed to be an erotic romance book. So there were a lot of things that aren't as realistic that I would see in like a Liz Tom Ford or an Elle Kennedy book. So fun, so unrealistic, so horny. It's all you want in a book. You know? I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm giving it 4 out of 5 chili peppers because it was... I just got flashbacks. Sorry, I was thinking of some of the scenes in that book. Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. This one was different. I love Ali Hazelwood. I love her books, but this one was not my favorite due to the amount of smut. Like I wasn't into the amount of smut in this one. Not saying that it was bad, but again, I think my tastes have changed a little bit. They've expanded. I'm really looking for some deep connections. A contemporary adult romance novel, probably her smuttiest one yet. Rue is a biotech engineer that only does one-night stands. Nothing else. She's only into it for the sex, for the lust. That's all she wants. But one of her one-night stands, Eli, happens to be the same man that's taking over the company she works for. So things get a little complicated. A little bit of tension when they finally realize who each other are. It's a little insta-lusty, if that's a thing, insta-lust. Yeah, I mean, insta-love is a thing. I can make insta-lust a thing. They instantly are lustful for each other. This man looks at Rue like there's no other woman in the world, which we love. We love that. If you've read Allie Hazelwood before, those are spicy, but this one's takes it up a notch. Workplace romance, forbidden romance. Eli is a caveman for this woman. Pining, lustful romance, and reverse grumpy sunshine. I don't even know if it's like, Eli wasn't the happiest golden retriever person, but she's definitely kind of grumpy. I rated this book 3 out of 5 stars, and I'm giving it 3.5 chili peppers out of 5. Oh my god, cute. There's a color scheme going on. Some honorable mentions because I still read other smutty books, but these weren't like my top recs. Leather and Lark. This was a new release from Bren Weaver and I loved it. The smut was good in here. It was definitely deeper than her first book, Butcher and Blackbird. I thought that the smut wasn't the main focus like in the other book. And then Love Unwritten and Love Redesigned. Adored these books. The first one it took me a little bit to get into, but book 2 I fell head over heels for the main character and it was a breeze. It was a breeze. I loved it. But these books do have some smut in it. Not the smuttiest books that Lauren Asher has ever written, but they're great. They're good ones if you're looking for a little bit of spice. That is it for this recommendation video. Thank you for tuning in. I love doing these videos. The next one will actually be my top smutty books of 2024. That's so exciting. So that one won't come out until next year. That's so scary. This year's going by so fast. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for supporting me. Subscribe if you haven't, like this video, and I will see you in the next video.